James and I asked each other what our nightlights were, and do you know what he said his was?
No, I'm afraid I'm going to be like, it's me, and then it wasn't.
No, it was you.
Was it me? I feel bad that mine was like making little clay figurines.
I know, as soon as she asked you, and I could tell as you started answering that it wasn't going to be me, I was like,
mine
she's going to feel
learning
so
how
bad. Welcome to Scream Dreams, the nightmares that shaped us, where we talk to your favorite filmmakers and creatives about their nightmares and what actually terrifies them. I'm James A. Janisse.
And I'm Katherine Corcoran.
And today we have a very lovely guest, I must say so. It's my wife, Chelsea Rebecca.
Hello.
Host of the Dead Meat podcast and voiceover actress.
Oh, thank you.
That's what you do.
Yes. It feels weird to be in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
For a podcast that you're hosting.
It's real weird.
Yeah.
This is a interesting dynamic.
Yeah. I'm placing so much trust in you two, and it's going to be great.
The pressure's on. I feel so I feel intimidated because you guys are like the pros. I'm the newbie in this situation. This is crazy.
You've got a crew though.
We do have yeah.
Ours is our housemate.
Yeah, he sits behind like a
and
little
he's
table.
Great, but it is just us.
And that's a recent addition.
Guy.
That's
recent.
like less than a year old. It used to just be us in a room, hit record.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys have, is it okay if we can cut this and give it away? But you guys have a whole studio build in your house.
Oh, yeah.
That's
two of them.
What's like so incredible about it. It's beautiful. Everybody comes to your house and it's like, my heart. It's amazing.
We love giving the house tour and then showing people the studios upstairs that used to be bedrooms.
Used to be children's bedrooms.
bedrooms.
And we're like, here, walk upstairs, take your shoes off. There's carpet. Our bedroom's right there. Just ignore that. And here are our studios. Which, I mean, I guess they're studios.
You can still see the remnants of the very cute wallpaper that the parents put in, the last people who lived there.
Oh, no.
There's bunny rabbits in the podcast room, and then in the kill count room, there's this kind of floral pattern.
Yeah, it's like red. I don't even know.
Where is it? Like behind, I guess on the opposite side of where the set
Yeah,
is.
if you look up
closer
to the ceiling.
Oh,
yeah,
that's funny.
you
And
really
did you guys install it all yourselves, the two of you?
God, no. That was done by Go Button Productions.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of they did Stone Cold Steve Austin's
podcast.
So we were in good hands.
They do a lot. I forget they just did another big one. But...
I think they did Tiny Meat Gang too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're great. They're amazing.
Yeah, we gave them a real challenge with the space they had to work in, especially because the kill count set is not only the kill count set, but it's also the green screen thing. So it had to be lighting set for both of those things. But yeah, that was an investment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's incredible, though. I mean, I and this might be redundant for you guys because I'm the newbie, but I met you guys at a convention where I met Barbara actually,
mm-hmm.
and I don't know how many years into the show were you at that point?
That was almost 2 years into the podcast and almost 3 years into the channel.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
2019 was
mm-hmm.
it?
It was like the end of 2019. Right? Yeah. And
mm-hmm.
so the channel was started early-ish 2017. The podcast was started early 2018. So it was like less than 2 years into the podcast and less than 3 years into the channel itself.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys get started? Was it before you started dating? Is that how you met? What is the origin of Dead Meat?
So we met in college.
Mm-hmm.
We both were film majors at University of Michigan.
Go Blue.
Go Blue. Football scandal aside.
Shh, don't talk about that.
Know.
It's fine.
I know.
We're
I
very
don't even
good
follow
academically.
football, but it's become this wider, like the repercussions of that are so
I've already
crazy.
seen comments on old videos where I said Go Blue, where people are like, oh, University of Michigan, you mean the cheating team? And I'm like, no, we're good academically.
I'm like, it's a good school. So we met there. We were both film majors. We kind of crewed on each other's stuff. That's kind of how we got to know each other. I mean, film majors are all working on each other's projects and stuff. I think what I liked about James is when you're a woman in a film program, especially if you want to direct like I did, some guys don't like being told what to do by a woman. You run into that a lot in film and as in many other areas of life.
Yeah.
But James was always such a collaborator and always respected me as like a creative and someone in charge, and that's why I would always go work on his stuff too. So we had this really good working relationship together that was really based on kind of respect for each other as creatives and people who wanted to work in film eventually. Yeah. And we just became really good friends and then started dating. I forget how long we'd known each other.
We'd known each other at least 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I wrote a sitcom pilot and we were casting it, and Chelsea auditioned, and we casted her. And then throughout
I was the only person who auditioned.
You would have gotten it anyway. It was really good, though.
Time they were like, we promise you would have gotten it anyway. I'm like, I'm the only person that showed up. It was so funny, too, because they did not, I remember this so vividly, they did not drop the kind of pretense of this is an audition. So I'm like sitting outside the room. I've got the sides. I'm like, there's no one else here. They call me in. I read.
There really wasn't anyone they were considering anyway. It was just a safety precaution.
But yeah, throughout the production of that was when we grew closer and then eventually started dating.
What's funny is the character I was playing in that was really gross. Like, she was not cute.
Oh yeah, it was like a gamer girl who, like, it was based on my not to throw her under the bus, but my cousin who lived with me in college was just like, he lived in a basement room.
And I think the character was originally a guy, and they were like, this would be very funny to flip to a girl, but not have her be a cute gamer girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have her be really gross, like does not take care of herself, greasy hair, just unpleasant to be around.
Yeah.
So I did not.
The antithesis of Chelsea. She's like the loveliest person to be around in the world.
I feel like we have pictures of what I looked like.
Yeah, and our characters hated each other, so we were always yelling at each other, but yeah, that's how that evolved into a romance.
Yeah. And then eventually the podcast or the channel.
Well, we had another channel that was originally called Comediocracy, and then we had to rebrand to Practical Folks. That was sketch comedy for a year, and then sketch comedy and a show called Drunk Disney, where we got drunk and watched Disney movies, and it was basically drunk mystery science theater.
Yeah.
So we have
edited together, like the episodes would vary in length, but they'd normally be like 20 minutes long.
No,
maybe?
I think like 15 more.
15?
Yeah.
And it's just us getting shit-faced watching Disney movies with special guests throughout the years that we did it. And it was so much, because we both love Disney movies. I'm a huge Disney
fan.
Yeah, just Disney animation.
Yeah.
And like the history of Disney animation I'm super into. So especially those early episodes were very much me trying to regurgitate trivia about the animation process while I'm just slowly getting
we're like
hammered.
23, 22 doing this. Like
we could not do this anymore.
Yeah, it would kill me.
Horror is much more versatile. Oh, I guess there's just more things to talk about.
Oh,
and
for
more
sure.
subgenres and things like that.
Yeah.
So we kind of covered this a little bit, but James doesn't dream. And
I don't remember that.
Do.
I know. We've really like grabbed this and have run with it, but like,
I like you wake up and you'll be like, oh man, I had the like worst dream.
No, that's you more often.
That's true. I have very vivid dreams.
You do.
I do.
Like nightmares or just like
it's like I'll have nightmares, but it's not nightmares all the time. Yeah. I do my most recurring nightmare though, and I'm curious if anyone else has said this because I think it's a common one, is my teeth falling out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a fascinating one to me. I've never had that.
Mm-hmm. I have dreams about either my teeth falling out or my teeth crumbling in my mouth.
Oh,
that's worse. I feel
it's worse. Those are worse.
Because if it falls out, it's like, oh, maybe I could get someone to put it back in. But crumbles, it's like, oh, just dust, shards,
and you feel it like
there's
like a taste.
Yeah, it's like very vivid. And I only started having them after I had a root canal done, so I had to have like a crown put on one of my teeth, and I think that just kind of triggered this anxiety of it falling out.
Yeah.
You know?
When was that? When did you have a root canal?
Like over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate the dentist.
I do too.
I go twice a year like you're supposed to, but I hate it.
I hate it.
Every single time.
I pay extra for the gas every time I go.
You can do that?
Gas,
yeah.
Yeah, she slips it under the table.
Yeah, you can literally, you can be like, hi, I don't want to be here. Can you please just, like, give me the gas?
Oh, they just think I'm a horrible human being. I'm just like, I don't like this. I don't like this. They just think I'm an awful human.
I just tell them, because I'm really jumpy too, because I
Yeah.
anticipate, because my teeth are really sensitive and
Yeah.
I hate having my gums touched. And that's what makes their job harder is me jumping, and I'm sure it makes them miserable. So I'm like, if
I'll
you
just go easy on
give
you.
me a little bit of that nitrous, we won't have that.
You're like the opposite of the doctor from oh my god, I am your dentist.
Yeah.
Little Shop,
Little
yeah.
Shop. Thank
Although
you.
no, he has a nitrous problem. That's how he dies.
That's what I mean. It's like the opposite.
Mhm.
It's like you're like, just give it to me.
Give it to me. Yes.
I'm okay if you kill me this way.
Yeah,
it's fine.
it's all
totally
good.
fine.
Yeah.
I remember one time when I didn't fully understand the difference between the nitrous gas and like the numbing stuff.
Yeah.
That I went to the dentist and was like, "Don't give me anything," and they're like, "You want the numbing thing, right?" I was like, "No, don't give me anything."
Oh my God.
And so I just took a filling like.
No, you didn't. You
yeah.
got a feeling raw.
I think so, yeah, and I just like clenched.
Raw
Oh my
dog
God.
feeling. Oh my
yeah,
god.
dude, it was nasty. And I don't know about you, but we both have severe dental problems because it's mostly genetic. I spend like 20 minutes to 30 minutes every night doing a tooth routine. I got a water flosser.
Yeah, we both take really good care of our teeth.
I
And we
still
both
get-
have
yeah,
fucked up
cavities.
teeth.
Oh, that's
Constantly.
the worst. I know. I went yesterday, TMI, but I went yesterday and I was just like so miserable, and also like them telling me how much certain things were gonna cost because like aesthetically you need things, and I was like, oh my god, I hate all of this. I hate all of you. They're lovely people. My dentist. I'm just difficult. Now that I know this though, I'm gonna be like, drug me.
Yeah.
Get that
Please
gas.
don't-
Be
Yeah,
like a
call ahead
10-year-old.
of time. Make sure they have it though, because sometimes they don't.
Then when you're done, ask for stickers or lollipops.
That
They should have
too.
a
The little
bucket.
bag of stuff they give you.
Little finger
Or like when
puppets.
they bring in the treasure chest
Yeah.
of toys and stickers and
Hell yeah.
candy. Like,
Is that something you could ask for as an adult?
I-
that's just what it was like as a kid, the big cardboard treasure chest. that
Yeah.
they bring in.
I
Like
did,
every
was that,
dentist
did you
office
have that
has
as a
one.
kid? When you
Yeah,
went to the-
well,
okay.
Okay, I love my aunt. She's amazing. But like she was my dentist as a child. Well, she was the dental hygienist as a child.
Mhm.
And so it was a kid's dental office. So the whole thing was like that. The chairs were like big teeth things, it was all like that all the time. But it was kind of far, so I'd have to leave school early to go. And for my dad, it was like pressured. He has a big family and like lots of like, different relationships. And he was always very stressed out about it. So then in turn, I was very stressed out about this whole experience.
Why? Was he stressed as in like, what if Catherine hasn't been taking good care of her teeth?
And then it reflects poorly on me as a
Yeah,
father. I think that's like what it was, And I'm a
Sure.
child. Of course, nothing ever happened. It was always totally fine. But I'm so stressed out. It was like a report card evaluation or something, And my poor father is all stressed out, and we're not helping each other. And then my aunt comes in. I don't know what like she was thinking, so she's got to deal with that. And so like it didn't matter how much fun and games they put in front of me, I was not having it.
Yeah.
I was not. I was just like, just tell me, just give me the verdict. Just tell me what I'm going to have to explain to my father. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So wait, so you have nightmares about teeth falling out.
Yeah.
But you're also a bad sleeper, correct?
Yes. Oh, have you talked
got
about
to
my
told them that
bad
you're a
sleep?
bad
I'm a
sleeper,
very
yeah.
bad sleeper. Yeah.
I feel like sleep is your worst nightmare.
Sleep is
In
no.
general?
Sleep and I just don't. Sometimes it's a weird thing. It's a very psychological thing, I think, because sometimes I'll get into a rhythm where I have a good sleep schedule and I'm able to lay down in bed and fall asleep. It's
When has that ever happened?
after we got back from Michigan and I was on East Coast time.
Oh yeah, for like 2
'cause it
weeks
was
at
late.
For
least.
2
you
weeks,
were
I was
solid.
falling asleep
And you were getting
8
up at,
hours
like,
of sleep,
8
like
or 9?
getting up at 8 or 9, going to the gym. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
That is.
That was
And then
dope.
one late night of filming just totally
Yeah.
ruined it.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since I was a kid, I've struggled with
Same.
sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a very like I have a hard time falling asleep. I think it's an anxiety thing for
Yeah.
sure. And then once you start associating falling asleep as something that is unpleasant or a process or something that is not going to happen, then your brain just it's this vicious kind of cycle.
Yeah.
It's really hard to break out of.
No, I have the exact same problem. I will, even last night, typically when we're doing prep days for this, and I'm sure you know this too, I'm up late, I'm like getting things together. I was fine yesterday, I had plenty of time, still didn't go to sleep at like a normal hour. I cannot wind down. And I think it's also because I have very vivid dreams. So it's like they're not restful sleep.
Yeah, it's like, great, I'm either not going to fall asleep or I'm going to fall asleep and have really weird, upsetting dreams that I'm just not looking forward to having.
What are some of your other like upsetting? Are they anxiety dreams or are they just like?
No, they're mostly just weird, or like ones where one of our pets will go missing or something. I have anxiety dreams about the pets. I know those are ones I feel like you've had too. When you say you wake up and you've had a bad dream.
I mean, I just talked about a good dream I had with the one I told you about with we were at the wedding and you got to walk down the aisle with Lucy. Yeah, that was a good pet dream.
That would have been very nice.
And the dog that you didn't have yet.
Molly.
I love that.
And she sleeps right between us on the bed, which is cute, but also sometimes wakes us up. Because, I don't know, does your dog sleep on the bed with you?
Yeah, it's been, she used to, when she's bigger than yours.
Yeah,
you have a small dog. My dog, Luna, is like 65 pounds. She's a lot bigger. But she always did, even since she was really like a puppy. But she's gotten a little older, so there was some medical stuff, and she had to sleep in her bed. And so I got like a special anti-anxiety therapy bed for like a very expensive bed. And now sometimes she prefers it, which is like kind of funny because now that's resolved, and I'll be like, come on, come up. She's like,
Do you miss her?
She doesn't want.
Do you
yes,
miss having
I
her sleep in the bed? Yeah.
I do. I just
What's this anxiety bed for a dog? See, they need to make those people.
I know. Well, honestly, when I first got it, I laid on it with her. Very comfortable. I understand.
What makes it
so supposedly dogs like to be surrounded. They like to have walls, so that's a thing that sometimes her beds wouldn't have that, and I didn't realize that. So it has kind of high walls, so she can kind of be in it, and when she looks out, like she has to like put her head on it, but it feels like burrowy, like a den. And then I think whatever the materials that they use, they put some sort of like pheromones in them or something, so it's like relaxing, and it's all like it's very fluffy and soft, and like if they made a giant human one, I would definitely sleep in it. It's very comfortable. I also started doing the weighted blankets.
We have a weighted blanket.
We have one, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I had like a significant other, they hated it. The weighted blanket.
I go back and forth.
I was gonna say, I think you're pretty neutral on the weighted blanket.
Yeah, I love it.
I like it a lot too.
I'm like, it just feels like a big hug. And so I think it's similar for the dogs.
Yeah. It's the idea of like you being like hugged. Yeah. I also got, and I haven't used it in a while, but I used it for I don't know, a few months, and it helped. It's like this little, you can either wear it on your wrist or your ankle, and it's this little bracelet that like gently pulses. Have you heard of these before? They're, I forget what mine is called, but the idea is it's the same, it kind of mimics the same sensation as almost like a weighted blanket where it's like a touch. So a weighted blanket is like, kind of feels like getting a hug or, it's like, it's a reassuring kind of grab. Yeah. And this little bracelet almost feels like someone, I think it kind of like sets off the same thing in your brain that maybe someone gently like putting their hand on you would. It's just a very like reassuring kind of, you can set it to be more intense or less intense. And ideally you have it to where you really don't notice it. And it did help. Like I would, sleep. Like I would wear it falling asleep.
Why'd you stop doing that?
I think because I let the battery drain and I just keep forgetting to charge it again. That's such an ADHD thing too. Yeah. I have ADHD. It's a struggle. Like if I forget to charge something and then I lose the charger, it's like, well, guess I don't use that anymore.
It's just gone to Narnia. We don't replace it.
But no, I think I'm gonna try and find that charger when I get home and like. Because I have been having trouble sleeping. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also do rain sounds.
Rain sounds are good.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Your room just sounds like it's probably like really like wonderful to sleep in. You have the rain sounds, the weighted blanket.
I bet for most people, it'd be very cozy.
The pulsing.
There's a puppy.
See, the problem though, and I wonder if this is an issue for you too, is our room, because it's the one room that like guests don't see.
Yeah.
Whenever we have people over, if there's stuff where we're like, oh, we just need to get this out of the way, put it somewhere, it goes in the bedroom. And it just, the bedroom then becomes this kind of like cluttery, you know, it's where stuff, it's like the lint trap. It's just where stuff ends up that doesn't really have a home. So that's something I think we need to take care of too, is like reorganizing the room and cleaning it and getting rid of stuff that doesn't need to be in there.
Yeah.
So that also, because it's like visual clutter, I think makes your brain, it like activates your brain.
We're so similar. It is like that. It's I've been told it's an ADHD thing, probably also like some sort of OCD thing. I cannot sleep unless things are clean. I can't leave dishes in the sink. That stresses me out, just knowing that I'll wake up to
in
it.
the other room.
Yeah, that stresses me out. I can't and things have to be very clean. And I will change my sheets frequently because I like the feeling of like fresh, like everyone should change their sheets frequently, but I think I do it like more than once a week. It's like it's like it's a thing. I just like things to be like tidy and like in their space. And I can't leave things out overnight. And so I can see how that's like, my room is very minimalist. There's not much in there.
That's probably the way to go.
Yeah.
You know, a minimal, and like I'm a very, in terms of like design and style that I like, I'm very maximalist.
Yeah, same.
Which I think maybe isn't great for something like a bedroom where you want to turn your brain off a little bit.
Honestly, I didn't realize it until I moved to LA, because when you live in New York, you're this tiny apartment, so everything is maximalist because it has to be. Everything's on top of everything. There's no space. But here, like, I had more space when I moved here than I'd ever had in my adult life. So I just didn't get to my bedroom. My apartment is still not like fully decorated, so I didn't get to my bedroom yet. And I kind of, as I've thought about it, like it very simplistic.
Do you have a TV in your room?
Not my bedroom, no.
Okay.
And you know,
that's something I know the TV's cool.
We didn't for a long time.
We didn't for a long time.
In the apartment, we never had a TV when we.
And you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
But
I can't sleep with the television on.
I know. I can't sleep.
I know people will pass out. I can't do that.
I did it as a kid. I would have the TV on when I went to sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I can't. No. Now I need it to be dark. I need like white noise or rain.
Yeah. The other thing I don't really do a lot of, which I know is like really bad, everyone gives me a hard time about it as someone who works in film, I don't watch my physical television a lot. I watch things on my iPad or my laptop because I'm always, again, very ADHD, moving around and multitasking. So it's very often like I'll have a movie on or a show while I'm doing like work or whatever, and so like it's just there. I don't get the full cinematic experience that I miss all those details. But yeah, I just don't. I'm not. I think also living in New York, I didn't have a TV for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that I just got used to it.
I wonder, like statistically now, what is the most common way that people watch movies? I bet it's a surprisingly high percentage
by demographic.
People watching it on their phone. Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I bet younger people mostly watch on their phones.
Yeah.
I've seen people driving and watching.
No.
It's
That's
awful.
terrifying.
Like this
Oh my
it's scary.
God.
I've been in cars with people who do it and I can't figure out like how, but they'll just like they're so
have it
used
up
to it on the dash. Like it's terrible. That's
crazy.
how you don't do that, kids. Don't do that at home. But like seriously, I've seen that. It's just such a weird.
Even when cars have TVs in the back for kids.
Oh, I remember
I'll get
those,
distracted by it driving at night because you can see that it's on and you're like, what are you watching?
Yeah, you're right.
What movies?
They got, what
Toy
Disney
Story
show?
3. What's up?
What Disney show are they watching? On their side pod.
Oh, bluey, nice.
It always gets so cold in here. I don't like, but then warm again and it feels like floral.
Fluctuation, yeah.
Do you feel that?
Yeah, no, it's awful.
I feel it's awful. It's terrible.
Freezing.
I feel like we should we tell someone about the temperature in here?
Who are we gonna tell?
I mean, it's happening all so quickly. I don't know.
Woo! Okay.
Scared me.
Is it too cold or it's too hot in here? It's the temperature.
Well, when you come in here, it's like the air. It moves. It changes.
Yeah.
You're hot, but you're cold. You're yes, but you're no. You're in and you're out, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up
Okay.
and down.
Look at this beautiful person sitting next to me.
I
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so
This
cool.
is the best part of the show.
Yes. And we were talking earlier, actually. I appeared, but we had a moment before. And you were telling, I just have to tell our viewers, your outfit is stunning on you because your colors, you figured out what your colors were.
Yeah.
I'm
spring.
You're spring.
So I did
True
the very
spring, right?
Yeah, true spring. There's a bunch of different
that sounds like an epic.
subsea. It's
like
a whole
character.
thing.
Yeah.
It's very big on TikTok right now, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was huge. I know in the 80s you get your colors done.
Right.
Where you have someone lay a bunch of different fabrics on you and they tell you what season you are.
How do you do this now? Like, how could one
You
of
can
us
have them
do
done
that?
online. I have mine done by a lady in Canada. Where I sent her a bunch of different pictures, like me in natural lighting with no makeup, me with my natural hair color, just a bunch of references. And then she then compares you against a bunch of color swatches and you have a video call with her.
Right.
So worth it.
Okay, I want to do that.
I know.
You think you're a warm person.
I
right?
think I'm
You
a warm
think-
person.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Is that
I mean,
what is that? What is warm? Is that summer or
like a
Warm
does
is spring and fall.
Oh, spring and fall.
But you can be
Does
like
that
a
make
cool
sense?
spring
It's-
and a cool summer. It's very confusing for me, but I need an expert because look at her style, everything.
You
I
look
can give
so
you
cute.
the lady I went to.
I wanna
Her name
do
was
it.
Carol Braley. She was very good.
Okay, yeah. I
She's
wanna do that.
explained it to me so many times, and I'm like,
Yeah.
is red good? And she's like, no.
It
there's-
depends
it's
what
more than just
kind
red.
of
Yeah,
red.
there's different kinds of red. I'm like,
different
but
shades.
is green good then?
Like
There's different kinds of green.
Yeah.
There's yeah, because some greens have yellow.
Yeah,
And was it
Some have
pastel
blue.
versus?
Versus like jewel tones or
Yeah.
like,
I know I'm not a jewel tone person. I don't
Jewel
look good at
tones,
does
I
that
think, work
mean?
for me.
Yeah,
so we have
I
to be
could see that.
opposites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I notice it every time I see her. I'm like, oh my gosh, her style, everything. It's always like so
I
perfect.
know.
Makeup,
You're
everything.
always looking good. It's fun. Yes.
I got my money's worth.
Oh my gosh. Just come here and be complimented. Yeah, but it's so great to have you both. It's so cool. And, we're talking about dreams and nightmares and things, and you were referencing just about how hard it is for you to sleep.
Yeah.
And I am a professional sleeper. I love sleeping so much, and I panic about my sleep. And I always have because I want to get a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
So I normally do the kinds of things you were talking about with that dog bed or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a weighted blanket, but I sleep with 2 or 3 blankets sometimes.
Always.
And I also have a feather bed on top of my mattress.
Mm-hmm.
That can also help you sleep because I notice it when I go to hotels and they don't have my feather bed. It's not as soft and, cushy. And I also think I used to have a Tempur-Pedic, but my husband didn't like it because he sleeps really hot. But I think a Tempur-Pedic mattress also makes you feel like you're sort of swaddled and bundled.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why they swaddle
Swaddle
babies,
babies. Yeah.
and a dog would maybe want to have like a little
Yeah.
den or cocoon to sleep in.
Yeah.
I think people need that too. So
Yeah.
those are just
Yeah.
some little tips I was going to
Okay.
share
I
about it.
sleeping
I
at
used to
Barbara's
do the
house.
feather comforter on top of the mattress back
Yeah.
at Michigan, growing up in Michigan when it was like really cold during the winter. That was when we brought out the big feather thing and put it on the bed. And
Right.
that's the coziest sleep ever.
Okay. Well, we all know what to get you for
Yes.
Christmas.
holidays.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's so many
Yeah.
feathered duvets.
Yeah.
I feel like sleeping at Barbara's house has to be like the coziest experience.
Ooh.
But I was
I-
excited that.
My bed is my sanctuary,
Yeah.
and I spend a lot
can
of
see
time.
that.
I have a lot of pillows, and they all have to be down.
Are you like no phones in bed?
No, I mean, come on.
Like every,
Yeah. No, I can't. That's a bridge too far. But I don't understand pillows because some people like to sleep with those really hard pillows that don't move.
Yeah.
I need the down pillows that they will sink into whatever mold you want them to.
Yeah.
Even my pillows on my couch and my bed, they all have to be made of down. Or I get down inserts for them. I think
yeah.
they're more cozy and comfortable.
Yeah, fluffier.
I need like a firm
You need the firm
Yeah,
pillow.
like when I go to a hotel and the only pillows are the feather ones that you have to kind of like punch to get into the right shape.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Okay, so you like the harder pillow. My husband likes a harder pillow too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess there's something for everybody.
I feel like a Flintstone just sleeping on like a rock.
Okay, so this is a part of our show that is so fun for us.
Okay.
I am the side Barb, and we always play a game with our guests. And so I don't know if you guys are too young that you don't remember the Newlywed Game?
Oh yes, I know the
Okay.
Newlywed
Yep.
Game.
Yeah.
You guys are still kind of newlyweds in a way.
Watching the
Yeah, less than
Newlywed
2
Game,
years, yeah.
I would watch reruns of it as a kid, and that's how I learned the phrase "making whoopee." That's what they would always say on that show.
Oh, making whoopee.
Yep.
That's
Ugh.
cool. Well,
I don't like it.
We're gonna play
I just
the
imagine
Newlywed.
sitting on a whoopee cushion.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
We're gonna whoop it up here and play the Newlywed Game with you guys.
Oh boy.
But we're gonna ask James to leave.
Okay.
And we're going to ask Chelsea some questions and then see really how well do you know your wife?
Last time we did a version of this, we did so bad.
Yeah.
Let's go.
The horror one that we
Yep.
did? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
We have some horror questions too.
Okay.
So maybe it'll help.
Maybe there'll be repeats.
Yeah, and I can
Okay.
pretend that I got it right the first time.
Okay, so you're welcome to put Skelly Sam in your place while you just get up and
Tell me all
leave,
the
and then we'll
secrets,
ask
Skelly
some
Sam.
questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I like Skelly Sam.
I don't.
You don't?
He's a bastard, Skelly. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you, Skelly Sam. Okay, we'll see you later. Okay, bye.
Okay.
He's out of earshot now.
Thank God. So actually, we're offering you his job. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Okay, we have maybe like 12 questions or so.
Okay.
What is your favorite scary movie?
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh my God, mine too. Yes.
Wait, really?
Yes. It is. Yeah. Addison's writing down the answers. So yeah, thank you, Addison. What are you most afraid of?
Ooh. I think mortality, aging and mortality. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Mm-hmm.
What is the scariest thing you and James have ever done together?
Huh.
Get married or something?
No, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like objectively the most like kind of adrenaline rush, thrill-seeking, scary thing would be skydiving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I would never do that.
Oh, it's so
I'm
cool.
so afraid of heights.
Yeah.
Did you love it?
I loved it.
You did it one time?
Yeah, I would do it again.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who came up with the idea for Dead Meat?
James.
Oh.
Mhm.
What is your favorite episode of the Dead Meat podcast?
Ooh,
They're
okay.
like children.
I know they
How do you
are.
choose?
Okay. The one that I'm really proud of, and I wonder if he's going to kind of think it the same way I'm thinking, is I did a 2-parter on the movie His House. Did you see that?
Yeah.
About the immigrants from South Sudan.
Yeah, it was on Netflix, right?
Yeah, I did a 2-parter where the first part, we barely even talked about the movie, and I did the entire history of British colonialization in Sudan, just for context, because that movie
It helps.
relies so heavily on, because they moved to the UK, and that's such an undercurrent of that movie. And that was just such an intense research episode that I wanted to do justice by, because it starts getting into like the conflict in Sudan, South Sudan. I don't know. That one I'm like really proud of.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense with your your history enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That episode
love
almost killed
that.
me. It was so much work. It was just learning like a very dense topic from
Okay.
the ground
We all
up.
have to watch that one now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please
if we haven't seen
Please watch it.
it. What is the worst nightmare you've ever had?
I don't know. I mean, I've had ones where James leaves me. Like I have those.
Really?
Yeah,
Like
I've had that like
nightmare?
more than once where it's a nightmare where James is like, "Hey, I'm kind of over it. See ya."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
And those are ones where I'll wake up and
No,
be
you're
like,
the nightlight.
"Baby,
It's never
no."
happening.
And
Aw.
have you told him that? I know.
Yes, I've told him that
okay.
before. Yeah.
What is your favorite horror convention you've ever done?
Oh, Silver Scream. in
I heard that was
It was so much
great.
fun.
So much
Yeah,
It was
that
like a
was
We were
horror
there
recently.
together. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my
That
God.
was like a big
Everybody was-
slumber party.
was.
It
I
really
was like, I'll do it
was.
again anytime.
And my friend Judy Aronson was
yeah,
there.
Judy
so
was
she had a
there.
great
Joe
time.
Lynch was there.
Yeah.
It was so
It's because we
fun.
were all in the same
Yeah.
hotel.
Oh yeah.
And yeah,
You had a lot of
We
fun
had a lot
there.
of fun.
Oh, okay. I want to go next year.
definitely.
What do you think James said his nightlight was?
Oh, well,
Well,
We already asked.
We already did that, so forget it. We can't ask her. Okay.
Sorry.
Who is more adventurous?
I guess it depends in what way. I would say James.
Oh, yeah.
Like if I had to just gut reaction, it's James. I think it's more of the risk taker, like wants to go try new things.
Yeah.
That's a James thing.
Okay. You'll be home crocheting.
Yes.
Learning a new skill.
I'm a creature of
Yeah.
habit for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an interesting question. Who is easier to work with?
Oh, I guess like in what way though?
Yeah.
I'll say just because I'm the more forgetful one due to having ADHD and just other kind of, I forget, is that something you also struggle with? I think just on the basis of me more easily forgetting to like read emails or follow up on things, I'll say James is easier to work with. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who is the biggest scaredy cat?
Me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite horror franchise?
Ooh, franchise? I am going to say it's so hard to pick, but I love the Saw movies.
Oh, that's
oh
interesting. We
my
haven't gotten
God.
that yet.
Are you kidding me? I can't watch them. They scare me so
Really?
much.
That's so funny.
They're
that's
so
like this-
funny.
I still haven't seen
Yeah,
the
but
most
they
recent,
scare
but
me.
Yeah.
I just, no, it's like,
It's
just,
a lot.
They're
It's-
very, I mean,
it's
they're
in your face.
It
you
is.
know?
There's no subtlety, but they're so campy.
Yeah.
And it's all a big soap opera because
It
it's
is.
all one big continuity. And every movie, there's a twist where it's like,
Yeah.
you think this is what was going on. But actually, we zoom out and there's this other person here doing this thing. And
Right.
it's very melodramatic and silly.
Okay. Oh, well, I think I know the answer to this one, but who is the more restful sleeper?
Oh, yeah, it's James.
That's it. Okay, so
Okay,
we
I
just-
feel
we don't need to cut. We're just going to bring James back
Yeah,
in,
I
right?
feel pretty
Yeah.
confident.
Yeah.
Or do we need to did you
It's fine.
do you have the No, maybe we're going to cut.
Okay.
We're going to Tom's saying we should cut, so we're going to cut.
It's okay. I think if we say that, too. I
He's
think
already back.
he's already
We're not
back.
cutting.
We're not cutting?
It's gonna be an
But
editing.
I
thing
need
for
the
you.
answers.
Oh, I
have them.
Oh, I can tell.
We have to but see
We're
that's
gonna cut.
we're going to
now.
cut. And we're back with James and Chelsea for this episode of the Newlywed Game.
All right.
Do-do-do. I feel like we should have a theme song or something right
Yeah.
now.
You need one of the 70s style, like really long stick microphones.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that would be cute.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know why that was the song that I had.
Yeah.
Something very poppy. Okay, so we asked some questions
Mhm.
and let's see if you know the answers.
Okay.
What is Chelsea's favorite scary movie?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh my God, you
Yes.
got that right.
Yes.
What?
2003, the remake.
No.
Just kidding.
Oh,
No,
dare
no, no,
you.
no. But it's mine too. I was telling her. It's mine
What,
too.
the original?
Yeah,
Yeah,
love it.
for sure.
What is Chelsea most afraid of?
Is it dying? No, that's me.
Well, it's kind of, yeah, she said aging and mortality. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought that
yeah.
was similar when she
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah.
Mhm. What's the scariest thing that you guys have ever done together?
Skydiving wasn't scary. Night scuba or night snorkeling? Oh, that sounds like something she didn't consider. But that was
Oh.
an experience that both of us did, and then we're both like, we almost backed out of
Wow.
it.
Where was that?
That was
Catalina.
Catalina. Yeah,
Oh,
we did like
night
night
snorkeling?
snorkeling. Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
and the waves were heavy, and it was like,
Could you see anything?
yeah,
Yeah, we
Give
had
you
little
lights.
lamps on our heads.
mhm. Lots of
I don't know
lobsters.
if I'd like it.
Yeah,
It
it was.
yeah.
Definitely triggered a very primal fear. Just
Yeah.
ocean at night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if that wasn't the answer, then
Well,
was it
you only get
skydiving?
one
Oh, okay.
chance.
All right,
Sorry,
well-
it was skydiving.
It was-
It was okay. I
They're
mentioned
I just was
skydiving.
trying to think, like,
Yeah.
well,
Something
I
I've
guess.
always wanted to do.
what's-
Yeah, but you were so eager to jump out.
I
of that
was.
plane.
I was like, I want to go first.
Yeah.
Throw me out of the plane.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, it wasn't a scary
Oh.
experience.
But I was like, I couldn't
that's-
think of, and I was like, I guess.
But universally, that's a pretty scary
Yes,
thing.
exactly.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Who came up with the idea for Dead Meat?
That was me.
Okay, got that right. What is Chelsea's favorite episode of the Dead Meat podcast?
Final Girls. No?
No.
Oh, His House. Yeah.
I told you only got one.
I know, but I wanted to get my little second place.
What is the worst nightmare that Chelsea's ever had?
Oh, boy. I mean, probably Lucy dying.
Oh, well, she didn't consider
Yeah, I didn't even, that also is sad.
No, it's that you would leave her.
Oh,
Aw,
okay.
That's
Yeah.
so sweet.
Aw.
Okay, don't ever do that.
Yeah, I won't.
No.
I will just walk out of this room at the end of the show.
What is her favorite horror convention that you've ever done?
Silver Screen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No brainer.
Yeah.
Okay,
say that.
and tell everybody who's owns that one.
Spencer.
Spencer,
Yeah.
our buddy. Yeah.
Spencer Charnas of Ice Nine Kills.
Who is the more adventurous?
Me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Who is easier to work with?
In what regard?
Exactly what I
She
said.
said. Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
I mean, I guess for, the people that work with you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm going to say me.
Why
Yeah.
Because I am more, I will spend more time on the thing.
though? I said because you're better at just checking emails and follow up.
Yeah.
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 Which I feel like also.
All agree.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like, Chelsea, you have a message in Slack from days ago. Please
Yeah.
respond.
Who is the biggest scaredy cat between you two?
I guess Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is her favorite horror franchise?
Franchise? Definitely not Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh.
I think she may have said Saw.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know her pretty well.
You guys are doing really
Yeah.
good at this.
Yeah.
Who is the more restful sleeper?
By default, me.
Definitely you.
Yeah. You guys know each other really well.
I mean, we've
But
been
you've
together
for a long time.
11 years, right?
Yeah.
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 Why
No,
did
I'm
you
like, I
finally
had to-
decide to get married then?
What?
Like people are together a long time now.
Before getting married, yeah.
Yeah, before they get married, like it never used to be like that.
Part of it was COVID.
Well, that was like the last, final 2-year delay. But prior to that, it had still been like 7 years that we were together. It was a lot of financial stuff. I mean,
Financial,
That was
building,
that was
building your
big.
careers.
before
and-
Dead Meat,
yeah.
we were
were
in bad
broke.
shape.
Like,
there
we
were
were-
nights crying
Oh,
over
yeah.
the credit card
Crying
debt
over
and,
money.
and like
and you
worried
stayed
about-
together. 'Cause
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of
That's
people break up
amazing.
over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we stuck through it, and then when Dead Meat was finally successful, those first like 2.5 years was nonstop work to like keep it successful.
Yeah.
And so there was like it was almost like there's no time to get married because
Right.
we have to like keep this thing going. So
But how did you come up with the idea in the first place? What made, because you were both film majors,
Mm-hmm.
what did you finally say, oh, we're just going to, do Dead Meat? I mean, we're just going to.
well, we had that other channel that was like
Yeah.
sketch comedy, and that was like a group
Okay,
of
so
us.
that was like acting.
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a group of us where I was doing most of the work for it, like a lot of the editing and stuff.
But it would have to go through everyone.
So
And
every
that
time I
makes
wanted
it a
to
really
do
slow
something, it was like
process.
checking in with everyone. And I was like, I'm the one putting in all this work. I'm just going to do my own channel. And I was
Right.
like, I know horror movies really well. I'll focus on that.
Right.
And so
Yep.
that's how that became.
And before I go, I just wanted to say we were all in a movie together.
That's right. You guys are.
Little Bites.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
because I know you guys want to do more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to, yeah.
you should
They're
hire these
so
guys as
talented,
actors.
both
Oh,
of them.
thank you.
Yeah,
Mm.
I saw your scene and it was really cute.
Yeah? Oh, I have to see the scene.
Aw.
So I want to put together a reel. I don't know if that one would go on a reel because there's no talking, but
Yeah. It's just
maybe
us
just for
looking.
presence.
But you played
Cute.
parents.
Yeah.
And- Yeah,
Mhm.
that was lovely and believable.
Oh, thank you.
That's
Yeah.
very cute.
Okay, that's it for my segment. So I'll see you later. Cold, warm, hot. Let me know what you need. I'll give it to you.
Oh my gosh, it just scares me. I wish you could stay.
So sudden. That was nice.
I know. Good surprise every time.
lonely now, actually.
Aw. So now I'm like, and you already know some of the answers to this, I'm sure, but like
I know that's why I'm having a hard time like being like, so what do you dream? Like,
I know,
yeah,
but you know everything about me.
Yeah,
but I like this
you
calling you out a little bit. Like he's like, oh, I don't dream. And you're like, yes, you do.
That was you guys who I was like, I don't really remember my dreams that often.
And now we're like,
you're like every episode, like James never fucking dreams.
The central premise of the show crumbling to
down
pieces.
on it. I've just doubled down on it so hard, and everyone's like, what? Blasphemy.
And every time I get that reaction, I try to be like, well, I often don't remember that.
Here's the thing, though. I forget if we've talked about this or not, but are you also the type where you don't see imagery in your head? I forget.
I was
going to
bring this up in our
called.
last interview. Okay. Actually, my brain don't work good with pictures.
Like the classic example is if I tell you to envision an apple.
Mm-hmm.
Can you envision an apple, and how detailed is it?
If I try real hard.
It's aphantasia. That's what it's called.
So, like, wait. You don't know what an apple looks like?
No, Catherine. Of course I know what an apple looks like.
But it's just like if you close your like me, I can very vividly imagine, and I can tell you what color it is. I can imagine like little details,
yellows and red.
Yeah,
tones.
like little,
yeah.
But some people like don't see anything.
Yeah,
and it's so interesting to me because both sides of that. Like someone who can envision stuff in their head versus someone who can't. The other experience is so like you can't comprehend it.
I cannot
right
so
now.
Hard.
That's why I'm like, what do you mean you don't know?
Like I have to try so hard to like have visual like mental images. I'm such an analytical, logical, like word driven person. Image like I can't draw worth shit. Right. Like I'm an awful artist.
Well, what's fascinating is there are artists who have aphantasia, like Glenn Keane, who's a Disney animator. Yeah. He would have been the lead animator for Ariel on Little Mermaid. I think Beast and Beauty and the Beast. He has aphantasia. He's talked about it before in interviews where he's like, I cannot see images in my head, and he thinks that's why he became such a good artist is because like drawing something, it's like that's how he can kind of envision something. It's like he has to put it on paper.
Yeah,
which is so fascinating.
For me, if I were ever to try to like draw anything, I would have to learn from the very basics, ground level, and then like go from there. I need to be taught processes.
But I
systems.
Also never want you to learn how to draw because when James draws stuff, he draws the scariest like creatures and people. It's because
they're just bad.
They're from your nightmares.
It's like, you know, that the idea of like outsider art where art made by someone who's not classically trained.
Yeah.
Like that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what happens when James draws. I'm like, this is the craziest thing.
My
I've
drawing
ever
has never
seen.
evolved from like a 3rd grade level, and so
he draws like weird, like Adult Swim looking creatures, and I'm like, these are amazing.
Yeah, Squidbillies. I just draw a bunch of Squidbillies.
Yeah, his art does look very Squidbillies.
So wait, this actually makes sense. So is it hard for you then if I ask you to give me directions without like with only landmarks?
He's really good at
directions.
I'm bad at directions.
Yeah.
So, but you can't. But so you can visualize places you've been and describe them for other people.
I can visualize like routes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But if you tell me to describe the building that we went to and like picture it in my head and give you a detail, I also have a hard time with processing what I think are minute details and things. So like I have like a slight case of facial blindness.
I forget what
the
it's
name
actually called.
of it. Yeah, but like I will focus on superficial qualities of people, their hair color, what they're wearing, and if someone like changes their hair and changes outfits and takes their glasses off, like it's such a Clark Kent effect.
Full disguise.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like a baby when like dad shaves his mustache.
For sure.
And it's like that's not my dad.
Yeah, unless they're very distinct looking, like someone like a Rami Malek. I'm like, okay, that's Rami Malek.
We
but
should
like
come
like
in here
Steve
in
Buscemi.
wigs. You and I and switch places after the show.
Because like that, and it's a problem when I'm analyzing movies and writing scripts about movies. Sometimes I'll have to be like, Chelsea, are these the same people?
I can't tell you the amount of times he's had to like call me in and like he'll click around to parts in a movie and be like, is this the same person as this? And is this? And I have to
oh my God.
help him distinguish between. It's usually people where like they have very similar hairstyles.
Yeah, if it's like short brown hair on like a guy. It's like, are they the same? And like cars, I don't know how people can differentiate between models of cars.
Yeah,
I'm like, they all look
never...
like, unless it's like 4-door versus 2 versus
I know
truck.
more about cars than you do.
Yeah, so like little details, like for some reason I'll latch onto the most superficial things, and even if it's like, I don't know why my brain works this way, but like if someone's name is Paul, I might call him Phil because it's 4 letters, starts with P, ends with L, and my brain is just like, those are the same.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I really want to come in here one day in a wig and glasses and just sit down and have some podcast.
Well, no,
who are you?
Once I know you, it's much easier.
Yeah.
But like watching a movie or meeting someone for the first time or meeting someone and then meeting them like a year later at another party, I'm like, hey, how's it going? They're like, we've met like 3 times before.
Oh my God,
and it's
I
the
always
most
feel like the biggest jerk
thing.
when I do that.
Yeah, right?
It's, to be fair, like often when we have people like over, we just had a Halloween party and it is so funny where it's sometimes
because they were in disguise.
Yeah,
so
it really
see
throws me
people
off.
where sometimes the only time we get to see them is on Halloween.
Or we did the cosplay scene for a few years.
Yeah, we did
and so we
cosplay
just
for a
meet
while,
people,
and you would re-meet people so many times, and like, oh yeah, okay. That's...
So now I focus on names because that's like a tangible thing for me. So if someone's like, yeah, we met at this thing when I did this, I'll be like, oh yeah, like Marissa, I remember that because I attached a name to it. I just don't recognize the face. And everyone else is like, I'm suck with names, but I'm great with faces. And I'm like, it's the opposite for me.
I have noticed that though. We got our first fan art. We're very excited,
Mm-hmm.
and you knew that person's name was James.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did you know that?
He's really good at it.
And I was like, oh, he must have done like a deep dive on this guy's Instagram. And you're like, no, we've met him before at conventions, and we both had, and probably even he's
James.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done art for us before.
Yeah, sweetheart of a man.
Really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you, James. We
Yeah,
love
thank
you.
you.
James. Also, hi.
But yeah, and it's also useful, I think, at conventions. I say useful as though it's like how to meet people and but
Yeah,
like
very Dale Carnegie.
Yeah, but people appreciate it so much when we'll meet a fan at a convention, and then the next day at the same convention they'll be walking by and I'll be like, oh hey Brandon, how's it going? And like I'll see it so
That's
often where they like
He's
turn,
really
they're
good
like,
at
they
it.
remember my name. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, I can at least do that much.
That's awesome. So at the convention, when that's also another whole other thing because that's how we met. How long have you guys been doing the conventions? You were cosplaying. You were So you were going to. Was it horror cons? Was it?
We're doing Comic-Con.
Yeah, we were doing just general kind of fan convention stuff like. Does this WonderCon even exist anymore? I don't know.
I remember it.
Yeah, there's WonderCon,
like LA
and
Comic-Con, just
Comic-Con.
regular old Comic-Con.
Yeah.
All of those. We would cosplay. We mainly did Game of Thrones cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
we were very into the Game of Thrones scene.
I know.
Yeah.
When that was like peak Game of Thrones. That's why I learned how to sew. Was I had wanted to learn, and finally just the costuming of Game of Thrones. I was like, I want to dress as one of these characters and learn how to make these costumes. And I learned how to do hand embroidery and chainmail and all this stuff. It was such a fun, weird little period of my life that was so rewarding. I met so many people that I'm still really close friends with through that scene because it was all very collaborative.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things was that there still is a very active Game of Thrones costuming group on Facebook where the lead embroiderer on the show, Michelle Carraher, Carraher, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but she is a very active member of this group, and people ask her like, hey, season 6 episode whatever, there's this embroidery on this costume, do you have pictures of it? And she'll post pictures and be like, here's how I did this specific character.
Cool.
Yeah, it's such a neat community
so cool.
that's really keeping like helping to keep like handcrafts alive, and this very like manual form of art that I think is often like overlooked. I miss it so much.
Do you go to the Renaissance Fair?
Yeah, we would.
We haven't been in
a long time,
COVID,
but
I've been wanting to go since I moved out here. Can
Oh,
we go together?
yeah.
You can help me
Irwindale.
make costumes.
I can help you make a costume.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, we wore Game of Thrones costumes there once
Yeah.
until then. I was like, I don't want these to get dirty. We're not doing that again.
These are sacred relics.
Yeah, these are like really nice, and I don't feel like cleaning them after. I would always. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah, hardcore.
I've cosplayed like 3 different versions versions of Cersei. She's my favorite.
Oh, she's your favorite. I mean, I was a Khaleesi Daenerys.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like I still to the. I mean, I think we've talked about this. Like, I loved it because I'm such a huge Lord of the Rings person.
Yeah.
So I loved it, but it doesn't take precedence for me.
They're very different.
Okay, so because for you thought that Game of Thrones was the superior series.
I think it is better written. I think that's what we were talking about. The books.
They're going for
the
very
Lord of the Rings
different
books
things.
bore me to tears. They're so dry.
It's like
and
poetry.
black and
It
white.
is. It's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of
They're
poetry.
very I don't know. You kind of just
You're not a visual person though. This is all making sense.
I know, yeah, metaphors
I
and
was gonna
stuff.
say,
I'm like, oh,
Lord of the
man.
Rings, if you're not the type who like you love to maybe visualize something in your head, I feel like that his writing you just kind of let wash over you, and it's just this kind of world that slowly unfolds for you. Whereas
And I'm also very much against like black and white things. Like I live in nuance and like devil's advocates.
That's why
and
they're
stuff,
so different. Lord of the
they're
Rings
so
is very
different.
good and evil, and
Yeah.
Song of Ice and Fire, it's very rare that you have a totally good character.
Well, and they're different like premise, right? Like everyone's banding together in Lord of the Rings to fight a larger thing to save humanity, where in Game of Thrones it's a chess game for power.
Yeah, and they're ignoring the big bad thing that is coming from
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is also much more historical, even though it is fantasy, and I love history. And,
Yeah.
and Chelsea's a big fan of like English history.
I love English
and
history.
even like has had.
Me and Bob talked about English
Oh
history
my God,
a
me
bunch.
too.
I'm such a dweeb
I have
for
so
it.
many weird, like, I took so many classes in college that are like not useful in day-to-day life, but like so many.
You can find ways to work
I was
them
gonna
in.
say, but
because-
they
European
so
history
are. They
classes.
made you richer as a person.
Thank
You're
you.
more
I appreciate
well-rounded.
that.
And even Chelsea has talked about her idea for a horror movie, which has to do with like English history.
Oh.
Yeah.
If I ever write a horror script or make a horror film, I really want to make a film about Katherine Howard. She's Henry VIII's
yeah.
fifth wife.
Yeah.
She's often kind of maybe described as the stupid one.
Yeah,
The
she's
slutty
young.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a little floozy. I'm trying to think how Lucy Worsley described it, like a go-round girl kind of.
Oh yeah. In the
But
series.
her story's very tragic, and I find her such an interesting person. I've read multiple books about her.
Yeah.
She just was so young when all of this happened to her, and for some reason, I think everyone, if you're into the Tudors and
Yeah, 100%.
interested in that, you kind of gravitate towards one of the wives.
Yeah, always.
Are you into
Anne Boleyn.
I was gonna say
Every
Anne
time.
Boleyn. Yes,
Every time.
She's the star.
Anne
right?
Boleyn is kind of the
like
star.
the narcissist actress, of course. That's who I.
Have you seen
But,
Six?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Like I love it. I mean, I love that the War of the Roses into the Tudor dynasty. I
Yes.
think
Oh
is
my
just like my
gosh.
favorite period in history. But yeah, I love Anne Boleyn. I think she's fascinating.
I think what it is because, like, as much as it's not the women who directly hold the power during that time, the women are what make all of those narratives really interesting
Yeah.
throughout history. Like, even War of the Roses, you have,
Yeah.
like, Elizabeth of York and, like,
Mhm.
all of those women who, like, strategically become very important and are secretly kind of, you have, oh my gosh, I can't remember her name. Is it Margaret Beaufort?
Yeah.
Who's, like, the Cersei of the War of the
She
Roses
is.
and has the child kind of king.
And set up the Tudor dynasty. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's like it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, so wait, I want to hear about this horror concept though, if you're willing to share it with us.
Sure. I mean, I don't have it super fleshed out, but I don't know. I love the idea of doing something with her life and her experiences, because when you think about it, her life is just, I don't know. I find her really tragic, and you have to, I think often in film and TV, the Tudor period is kind of portrayed very romantically and in
Yeah.
a sexy kind of way.
Yeah, the whole Tudor
But
show
it
is
wouldn't
like
have
that.
been. It just would have been a nightmare every day. Like you wake up and are just constantly, everything you say can be used against you. Everything you do.
Yeah.
It's like you can't trust anyone, and that kind of atmosphere of paranoia. And just when we were in London, I feel like every tour we went on that was related to the Tudors, it was like, here's how they tortured people.
Yeah.
And it's like the most graphic shit you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it would be cool to do something set within that time period that focuses more on
absolutely.
that.
On the psychosis. And
Mhm.
I think it's not a horror film, but I think, and I'm blanking on the name of it now, but Kristen Stewart's portrayal of
Princess Diana.
Princess Diana
Yes.
tapped into
Yep.
this kind of horror thing with it. I had my own feelings about it, but like I think it really was like the psychosis of it and like what's happening and like the paranoia and the stress.
Life
like,
in a gilded cage.
yeah,
kind
and that's
of.
like the modern interpretation of that. I think from a horror concept, that's, and we feel that, I think, as people who work in this business, and even more so for you guys, because it's everything you say is so public all the time.
Yeah.
Like there's this pressure to like say the right thing and do the right thing, and something that you said even like years ago, and you've grown and learned and evolved, like how that comes back to, so that we understand that psychosis and that pressure all the time, like what that must be like when you could actually physically get beheaded for it,
Yeah,
you know,
right?
not just canceled, beheaded.
Yeah,
the
like,
ultimate cancellation.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not just someone being mean on Twitter, being like, "Hey, you said this, but 5 years ago you said this."
Yeah.
Doesn't that make you a hypocrite?
Yeah.
No, this is life or death.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I don't know. I just feel very partial to her and like her story. I don't know why I gravitate towards her so much.
Yeah.
When we went to the Tower of London, there's like a memorial there. Have you been before?
I've been to the Tower of London. I've never been in it, but I went when I was living in London. Yeah.
So they have this kind of memorial that's on the green where they think most of the executions would have happened. And you can leave stuff. They have like a list of like the names of people who were beheaded there. So there were flowers for Anne Boleyn when we got there. And so I brought flowers for Catherine and left her some.
I love that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think you are the one to tell that story.
Maybe.
Would you want to play her?
No, I'm too old. She would have been like
a teenager,
max,
right?
like, I mean, I think like the upper end 20 max when she was executed.
And you'd have to go, yeah.
She's got to be young, I think, to get the full kind of...
Get the point across,
Yeah, to really, wow. Oh my God, I can't wait to see this.
I know. I'm like, maybe it'll happen. Who knows?
Yeah. We also ask on this show, so I mean, we're on such a positive note there, but we ask on this show, like amidst all the terrible things, all of the things that scare you, all of the darkness, your teeth falling out, not being able to sleep, what is the thing that keeps you going? We call it your nightlight. What is the thing that keeps you like motivated?
Ooh, I think so I'm someone who I'm always either pursuing a new hobby or I set up some
Something's on. No, just kidding.
I'm always either pursuing a new hobby or I'm setting up some kind of goal for myself that I have to kind of always be working that gives me something to look forward to. So like a few years ago I started voice acting, and that's something where that feels like a new goal, and it's like I have this kind of rejuvenated like sense of energy in terms of, oh, this is something I'm working towards. But also just I'm always working on new little hobbies. Like right now I'm learning how to crochet. And honestly, I'm excited to, after this on my way home, I'm just going to go pick up some yarn because I'm going to be out. But like little things, like over the pandemic, I learned how to do some card magic.
Do magic, and,
and
like juggle.
And I learned how to juggle.
And calligraphy. And
I'm a dilettante. That's it.
Oh, is that what?
That's the term?
A dilettante. Yeah, it's someone where
They dabble.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's a dabbler, someone who has a kind of almost superficial interest in a bunch of little things, like who just likes to try.
And always her interests are always so foreign to me because they're also tactile based, which is what I'm bad at. Yeah. I like grew up on a computer, so like I can do like editing and digital stuff and like code. I learned coding HTML and stuff like that. And then she'll sit down and do something. And I'm so envious of it because it gets her away from a screen. All my interests
that
are
is
like
a big
on the
reason
screen.
I like to have like little things to like occupy my hands is it is something where I'm not in front of
I'm so clumsy with my hands.
But that's probably why you're also like such a great teen. Like you see the visual picture of everything. And I mean, I don't know how involved you are, like each individually with the set design though, but I can totally see you spearheading all of that in your house and how it looks, and then you're on the computer making sure everything happens on time and the way it needs to, and the budgeting and like everything. I don't know.
At our wedding, I think about this often. At our wedding, we had my best man was our housemate, Gressel, who produced the sitcom that we met on, or that we like got together on. Like this working relationship has been going for well over a decade now.
Yeah.
He runs the D&D podcast that we're both on, that we're recording tomorrow. So he's like our best friend. He lives with us. He was my best man. And we were like, dude, you got to give a speech at the wedding. You know us better than anyone else as a couple, as individuals. And I still I cry when I think about like how, because he's also a writer.
Yeah, it was so unfair.
It was the most amazing speech ever. But I always think about how he referred to us as the artist and the architect. And it just like, just even saying that, just like tear up thinking
That's
about.
like the children's book of your love story. You know what I mean? I love that so much.
Yeah.
You know what's so interesting is when we were like doing icebreakers, you know, James and I asked each other what our nightlights were. And do you know what he said his was?
No, I'm afraid I'm gonna be like, it's me, and then it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Was it me? I feel bad that mine was like making little clay figurines.
I know. As soon as she asked you, and I could tell as you started answering that it wasn't gonna be me, I was like, she's gonna feel so bad.
Mine was learning how to do a Rubik's Cube.
Well, I love that. We have this joke that we're gonna have to put a little Nightlight Chelsea right here.
It is interesting though. I do think I am maybe the more romantic of the two of us. Maybe you and your family, you always say you guys are like not as emotional.
Yeah, we're a little bit
my
more
family
stoic.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like.
Did you cry at This Must Be the Place when we saw Stop Making Sense in theaters?
I did.
Okay, I did too.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
our song.
Did you not see it together?
No. I mean, but like, we're in a theater. I'm not gonna like be openly weeping. I'm just crying silently.
Oh, okay. You're trying to keep it together, so she might not have noticed.
Exactly.
You cried.
Oh man, my favorites. We saw Hadestown on Broadway. I just remember both of us looking at each other. We're both just falling. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know we're romantic in different ways.
Romantic in different ways, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
A word just came to me and then left, and it's not sincere. It was something else. Like I'm maybe more sappy. You're not sappy at all.
I'm not a very.
You're like anti-sappy.
Person.
Yeah.
We both cried when we saw Titanic and IMAX.
That's true. Yeah, I'll get
the re-release of it.
Really? Titanic and IMAX.
We saw it on Valentine's Day.
It was, yeah.
And I think we were the only ones, or some of the only people in that theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the most romantic. I guess it is romantic. It just like ends in like.
It's absolutely
so
romantic.
But everybody dies.
But their love survives.
Their love and the way that he loves her. Oh man, going to see that again, I was not expecting to get so like worked up.
This is why you're perfect for each other, because I'm over here like everyone's dead.
When was the last time you saw it?
Yeah.
They could both fit on that
No, they couldn't.
They couldn't.
He tries and he can't. It starts to sink.
Yeah.
He gets off. I don't know how that rumor persisted over the past 20 odd years. It's clear they address it in the film.
Yeah,
he can't get on there.
Oh, this has been amazing. Chelsea, it was so I was so excited to have you. I hope we didn't throw James too much in the hot seat, but this was so fun. I mean, everybody knows, but where can they find you guys outside of Scream Dreams?
You can find us on Dead Meat, the Dead Meat podcast.
Which again is Chelsea's show.
It is my show.
I don't do anything for the podcast except show up and talk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a perennially frustrating thing when comments on podcast episodes are like, James, thanks for doing that. I'm like, dude, I didn't do shit, man.
Like I put on clothes and walked down the hallway and sat down.
Oh, I think we've learned in this hour who runs the show.
The podcast. It's the
podcast.
podcast.
The podcast.
There are various elements to Dead Meat.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay, each of you have your own, but Yes, Chelsea runs the podcast.
Yes.
And what about your voiceover work? Where can we hear you?
There are a lot of NDAs.
Oh man. Okay. Well,
if it's one thing I've learned about voiceover work, it's you do it and 2 years later it comes out.
You have to do it and just forget about it.
Well, when it comes out, we'll just scream to the rafters. Listen, so you can hear Chelsea.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening. Make sure if you liked our show at all, you like, subscribe, follow. What is it? Ding the bell. Ring the bell, hit the bell.
I don't think I've ever once asked
That's
people
what
to
I
ring
said.
I know. That's the whole
fine.
thing we've talked about. I have to pick your brain so much.
No, I mean we probably should be telling people to ring the bell.
Write in. Tell us if you have any other questions about Chelsea, about her nightmares, about anyone's nightmares. And until next time, I'm Katherine Corcoran.
I'm James A. Janisse. Be sure to leave the light on.
Very good. Got it.
Ooh.